Less than 72 hours. That's how quickly a management company refunded every flight, every high-speed rail ticket, every hotel room for hundreds of strangers after a fan event fell apart in Nanning, and that speed alone is the kind of detail most headlines glossed right over. I'm Rabbit News Hallyu, and we don't take apologies at face value, we look at what the timing actually tells you. On May 31st, a Zhang Linghe fan meeting in Nanning had to be shut down mid-event. The crowd surged, a glass door at the venue shattered, and 5 people walked away with minor cuts. In this industry, that's usually the kind of incident that triggers weeks of silence, a carefully lawyered statement, and maybe a partial refund months later if fans are lucky. That is not what happened here. Instead, Zhang Linghe's agency moved to cover the full cost of travel and accommodation for everyone affected: flights, high-speed rail, hotel stays, and the money reportedly landed in fans' accounts within days. Not weeks. Days. On its own, that could read as simple decency. But look at what came immediately after it: a full public apology, an explicit promise to tighten safety assessments for future events, and a brand partner adjusting its own plans in response. That is not the usual playbook of a smaller team scrambling to contain a PR headache. That is the playbook of an agency protecting an asset it has decided is now too valuable to let one bad headline follow around. Here's the context that makes that read make sense. Nanning was not the first time this year a Zhang Linghe fan event drew a crowd large enough to strain venue security. Fans lined up before sunrise in Shenzhen. Shopping malls in Nanjing were reportedly packed wall to wall. And after Nanning, organizers in Nanjing didn't just add a few extra guards, they brought in 200 security personnel and introduced numbered registration with staggered entry, the kind of crowd control infrastructure you'd expect for a stadium concert, not a mall meet and greet. Now put that pattern next to the August 9th announcement. Zhang Linghe is confirmed as one of the celebrity captains at the Weibo Adventure fan event at the Haixinsha Asian Games Sports Complex in Guangzhou, on a shared bill with names like Cai Wenjing, Cheng Xiao, and Shen Yue, booked simultaneously through both Maoyan and Damai. When fans saw the city and the date, more than a few posted the same half-joking complaint: wrong city, as in, why isn't this happening somewhere closer to them? That reaction, multiplied across a fan base this size, is exactly the kind of logistics problem an agency has to start solving before an event, not after it. So here's the gap worth sitting with for a second: the real story in this news cycle probably isn't the dance clips or the reunion quotes everyone's been clipping for compilations. It's a management company quietly retooling its entire approach to crowd safety in real time, because the size of this fandom has outgrown the infrastructure that used to be enough. That's the industry layer worth slowing down on. Talent agencies typically treat safety incidents as liability to be minimized first: legal review, delayed compensation, sometimes none at all. The Nanning response inverts that order: compensation first, fast, unconditional, followed by a public commitment to change procedures before the next event even happens. In risk management terms, that's not damage control after the fact. That's a company signaling, to venues, to brand partners, and to fans, that this particular artist's public image is now a priority asset worth protecting proactively rather than reactively. Agencies don't fast-track full reimbursement for talent they consider replaceable. There's a human layer underneath the operational one, and it's worth understanding why fans reacted to Zhang Linghe personally the way they did during the chaos. Multiple accounts from these meet and greets describe him repeatedly bowing to thank the crowd, reminding fans mid-event to stay safe, shaking hands at close range despite the obvious risk, and in at least one case surprising fans by spritzing them with his own perfume. None of that is required behavior for a celebrity captain slot on a shared bill. It's the kind of small, repeated choice that shapes how a fan base talks about an artist when the cameras aren't rolling, and it's likely part of why the goodwill from the Nanning apology landed the way it did instead of reading as a hollow PR gesture. That same instinct to read between the lines is what's been driving a separate, much smaller moment this month: a fan question about growing up. Ding Chengxian was asked on a Teens in Times livestream on May 5 whether no longer depending on his brother meant he'd finally grown up. His answer, that in his brother's heart he's never grown up, quietly rejected the premise of the question altogether. 6 days later, on May 11, Zhang Linghe was asked the same thing on his own stream, and instead of playing the older, wiser role fans expected, he said essentially that he hasn't grown up either, so they might as well keep leaning on each other. Two very different answers to the same question, and fans noticed immediately that neither one is the answer a typical idol gives. It lines up with what plays out physically on Let's Start Deduction 4, where Ding Chengxian goes from visibly nervous to someone who calms down a rattled castmate mid-scene, while Zhang Linghe at one point physically carries 3 frightened guests through a dark segment at once. On camera, he calls Ding Chengxian the kid. Off-script, fans point out that Ding Chengxian instinctively reaches for Zhang Linghe's hand, or Liu Yu's, whenever either of them is nearby. It reads as the kind of unscripted physical habit that's hard to fake across multiple separate broadcasts. Then there's the moment fans have been resurfacing on repeat since mid-July, Zhang Linghe trying not to laugh, eyes shut, while Tang Jiuzhou danced wildly in front of him on set. It's a small clip, but it triggered the same reaction across fan communities. It's been so long since we've seen him dance. That's worth noting on its own, because it isn't really about the dancing itself. It's a fanbase that has watched this artist go from an engineering graduate with, by his own reputation, zero natural rhythm, the guy fans jokingly called closed off by God when it comes to dance, into someone whose earnest, unpolished dance attempts have become a recurring, beloved bit precisely because they're not polished. An old video resurfaced from before his career even started, dancing casually with friends, and the contrast with his more guarded on-camera persona now is part of why that older clip hit as hard as it did. That same self-deprecating comfort with imperfection showed up again a few weeks earlier, when a reality show pit him against his own AI-generated likeness, one that could dance in perfect sync, ride a motorcycle, and flex on command, while the real Zhang Linghe reportedly went speechless watching a version of himself do things he'd never attempt on camera. Fans didn't read that as a machine outperforming its human counterpart. If anything, the bit worked because everyone already knew which one was the actual draw. A separate moment on the same set, when castmate Jin Jing teased him for what she called a fairytale ending pose, got a similar reaction. He covered his face and laughed instead of playing it cool, and that exact 3-second clip has circulated for weeks. None of these are staged confessional moments. They're small, repeatable beats, imperfect, a little embarrassed, never overproduced, and that's likely why fans trust them. They don't look manufactured for a camera, even when the camera is right there. Individually, none of these threads, a compensation timeline, a live stream one-liner, a dance clip, would carry much weight. Together, they sketch the same picture from 3 different angles, an artist whose fanbase has scaled up faster than anyone around him planned for, and an agency now visibly restructuring its playbook, publicly and financially, to keep pace with that growth instead of getting caught flat-footed by it a second time. That's also a pattern worth watching beyond this one case. As Chinese and Korean entertainment continue expanding into larger, more international fan markets, the events themselves are starting to outgrow the security and compensation frameworks built for a smaller era of fandom. Nanning may end up being remembered less as a scandal and more as the moment an agency's response time became the actual headline. None of this confirms a grand strategy. A fast, full refund could simply be good instinct from good people rather than a calculated brand move, and the honest answer is we don't have the internal decision-making on record to say for certain which it is. But the pattern is there, and it's worth watching the next time a similar incident happens somewhere else in this industry, because a company's response speed may tell you more about how it values an artist than any official statement ever will. If you're the kind of viewer who wants the story behind the story, the timing, the details everyone else skips past, that's what Rabbit News Hallyu is built for. Subscribe if you want analysis, not just headlines.